Oh my gosh, MySpace. That should have been in the icy north as MySpace. Should have been up here, up there at Yahoo.
That one's really old.
I tried to. MySpace is all there.
I know. This one is newer. I tried to find a new one, and so there you can find them online. But they said they can't make a new one because all of the URLs that are the majority of URLs that get the majority of traffic on the internet now are Chinese, and so we wouldn't recognize them. So they can't reproduce that same graphic anymore because what'd it do?
They banned Discord. The administrators can't have the Discord app anymore for the computers because I had Discord.
Yeah.
Where it pointed the shortcut to is gone, so I tried installing it again, and it comes up with an error saying something about. It says installation has failed. There's an error while installing the application. Check the setup log for more information and contact.
I've got it installed.
Yeah, everybody has before. See if you can uninstall it. Do you think maybe it's like mangled? Maybe it's like pieces.
Oh, cute. Mine's still there.
Yours is still there?
This is the error file that it sent me.
But I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Oh, yeah, it's still
Okay, we're going to watch the Great Scratch games. And I figured out over the years that I really suck at playing these games. People can yell at me from the back, go to the right, go to the right. And I'll go the wrong direction and I'll be screaming and go, that's how I'm going to do it right. So it's best if you guys show everybody your game yourselves. Now, the problem is sometimes our audio doesn't come across the Zoom session very well from the computer. Yeah, if you have audio, I'd really like to hear it. So I'm not sure what we should try.
Maybe we just come up to the front.
Yeah, we might have to. You might have to just come up here if you have audio and bring it up so that we can hear it and see it. But we shall try.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Totally off subject. Would I be allowed these computers would I connect to that?
Uh-huh.
Would I?
Sure. Well, you guys all sound better now that I've got this cough. Okay, so we're going to start in the back. And
All the way in the back?
let's see, yeah, I think we'll start in the back. I think we should finish up with Logan, don't you? We don't want to intimidate people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he should be the last one. We might have some amazing things in between there. Okay, so what we want to do is, first of all, make sure you posted your Scratch URL here in the discussion board. And if we're going to start back in the back with John, have you submitted one?
Yeah.
Okay, we should be able to find his name, right? So what could I do to open a find? What? Control F. And then I could type his name, John versus our Jon. And that is the right person. So why I want to show you that because you guys might want to go ahead and bring up his game and be trying it while he's demoing it for us. So John, do you mind trying this first?
Which John?
Harrington. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to release my screen share. And so now you are going to connect to the Zoom session. So everybody connect to the Zoom session if you haven't yet, because we want you connected. Then when it's your turn, you're going to share your screen. And you want to make sure you share the whole screen, not just an application, or else we won't be able to see everything right. So he's got it now. He's ready to try. And another reason I want you guys to be controlling this is if the URL were to be bad, like the rest of us aren't able to use it, you can still go to it and show it to us while we get that problem fixed. The one thing that seems to be make the URLs not work, and I think you guys had figured that out already, was if you haven't validated your email address, and it won't share right, so other people might not be able to get to it. Okay, so he's got this thing, he's ready to go. We want a full screen so that we can see it in its full awesomeness. Do you have any audio? Some? I don't know how to tell if it's coming through.
Join with computer audio.
Yeah, see if you could join with computer audio. And I checked that box that everybody should automatically join with computer audio in hopes that that would do something.
Yours works.
Muter.
Oh, this is your mouse.
That would be really creepy.
Because my audio is working. In case you guys hadn't noticed. So what in the world is going on here? What?
Okay.
Oh, something happened there, I thought. Now he's committing suicide.
Let's go put the name.
Or cat.
It's quite interesting. Yay! And especially thank you for going first and seeing how it all works. So we're able to broadcast our audio through. That's fantastic. The next person then is our other John. It's Jonathan Ellis. See if you can find his. And he is Jon.
Oh, wait, were we supposed to play with him or just watch him on Zoom?
You can play with him or watch, either way. So I just wanted you to know who it was so you would know what link we were using. Find his game if you want to try it. You guys can always offer suggestions and insights on the discussion board. All right, full screen it and let's try it.
So, I couldn't really find this tutorial. I tried to make a platformer. I couldn't really find a tutorial on Scratch. I went on YouTube, but couldn't really find anything that could a whole game through. So I have the beginning of the game. Where you just move around and jump. Yeah, that's, yeah. If you fall, you get stuff. Don't worry. Yeah, just don't fall.
You guys are all sickos. No, I love it. It's awesome. Poor platformer. We must have more self-esteem. I like it. Give him a hand. Like it? I like it a lot. Next, Sean Ingerson. I'm not saying that right. Close-ish.
Me too.
What if it's in the
It's not even in the comments.
Is Alex still in this class?
Yeah, he's just.
She probably made him sick all these germs last time.
I know.
Or his scratch game is not as good as yours, and he was just like, I'm not coming. Sean.
So intimidated.
SHAWN.
Wait, hold on. Who are we going towards again?
Sean.
Don.
Oh, he's going to show you. Thank you, sir. Sean Ingerson.
Because Scratch doesn't have any cheese.
Yeah.
Get the apple because Scratch doesn't have any cheese.
Don't let the cat do anything. Oh no, it's gonna meow.
Oh.
Doesn't meow. He didn't attach audio.
Okay.
I struggle with Scratch, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where it was. But I was trying to use another word and help.
That's not how you grab an apple.
And the guy is supposed to meow when it gets it, and it's supposed to be a big old crunch when you touch the apple.
Oh.
Can you connect again and tell it to connect audio through the computer? Do you have to reconnect to the whole Zoom session? Or can you just join your audio? Yeah, because we couldn't get it to work the other day.
Oh, so you're not playing as the cat, you're playing as the mouse?
Yeah.
Okay then. I thought, you were playing as the cat and you had to get the apple. And you were staying away from the mouse to take it to the mouse or something.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all right. It looks really good. And different people have a lot of different experience levels with Scratch. If you guys noticed when I brought it up the other day, some people have used it a bunch already. Some of you guys, it's your very first time. So we should expect a little bit of differences. That's how it works. So it's okay. Give him a hand. I like it. I like that one. Okay, next we're going to see Nico, Nico.
I made it kind of like a paddle bounce, like the little scroller at the bottom. I still don't know how to use Scratch.
That's all right.
Oh, okay.
This is all I have.
Oh.
This is it.
That's cool.
I mean, this is supposed to be a bounce noise, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing it. And then when I hit the red line, it just makes a really loud noise for no reason.
Oh, I'm glad we can't hear it then.
But yeah, that's it. That's an increase speed. How I tried, it just doesn't do anything.
Gives you some good stuff to play with. And I really think that Scratch is a good thing for, like when we're talking about if statements, if it's really confusing to you, you could go back to Scratch and use that decision-making structure that Scratch has and try some things, and see if it's clearer. And that's kind of what Scratch is for, is just to try things. He's going crazy here with his Pong paddle. Okay, give him a hand. Yay. And next we have Martin, who I counted absent.
I also have the Pong game.
So do I. It looks like a little mouse on it.
I was kind of that happens, but the ball for some reason goes through the paddle.
We can't see it.
I had that problem with mine. I can see it.
Well, I can't see it. What have I done wrong? There, now I can see it. Can you do it again? I missed it. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. It goes through the paddle for some reason, and I'm not sure how to fix that.
I like it. I like that they're so fast. And then that gives you a bug to work on. I was telling Rebecca earlier, you guys never have games that don't have bugs, so it's just kind of an ongoing thing for you to work on. Give him a hand. I like it. Next, we have Isaac.
And I have audio, which is, I don't think you can hear it now. But yeah, it's a little short story. It might be around that long. There's like music in the background right now, but you can't hear it, so it's
Click your audio.
Gonna fix it for him. Let's see.
yeah, so oh, very bad.
This kind of looks like
Very
we would have found all the old like Nickelodeon.
It's cool. I didn't do very good at
Disney
making stories. Did you try to make a story?
No.
It's hard. For me, it's hard. There's a lot of rules, like when like this sprite does this, and it does this, and this is this, and this.
So fast.
Look at it run!
So just tapping it,
Oh, he's even.
make it go faster or just hold it? Just trying to take.
This scene looks somewhat familiar, huh?
My one weakness.
I can never expect it.
Spacebar.
Oh, look, he even made a little.
Yes, and it does.
Oh, so good.
Oh.
Oh my god.
So
Have you peed though?
Oh, and your face.
just keeps getting angrier and angrier. Now, I don't know you guys, but I'm hoping that was like 2 a.m. File one of those OTC bit reports. I'm concerned about Mr. Isaac. All right, it's cute. Okay, next we have Ethan.
So this is my game. It's called Psychic or Not. So basically, you just have to choose which one of the objects, and it's just random which one appears in the class. And you gotta get the correct one with the most rounds. So every round is the correct choice. If you get it wrong, it does the game over time.
Can you full screen it for us?
Game over. Please play again.
I don't think it belongs to Neopets.
Pretty silent.
Is there sound for this one too or not?
No, I don't have sound. Okay. That's basically it.
This one's really good because we, at one point, we'll probably do a program where we have a guess a number type game where we generate a random number and ask them to guess it. And this is so much more visual, but yet kind of the same logic. So very good. Give him a hand. Yay. Sure. Because I don't know why it worked for one and not the other. Logan's taking over and he's going to see if he can get sound to work.
Just like yeah, I don't know. Some people there's no sound against I don't have sound.
It's just weird. And I don't know why it works sometimes and not the other. Thomas, are you ready? Okay, guys, we're going to watch Thomas's next.
Oh no. Is the car gonna hit the floor?
Probably. I was gonna say no blood. I should have said no blood.
Oh no.
I'm going to cross the road. Ah.
Oh. Please don't let something run over here. I'm so sorry. Yeah. It looks like a piano falls down.
Let's see.
Oh. Well, woohoo! Good
Yay.
job.
I liked it.
Me too. I was worried.
I know there was no blood. I thought there was going to be a squashed cat on the road.
I was like, all right,
Next we have
traumatized,
James
and
Baldwin. You what?
I was about to say just write Facebook. I got traumatized.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Just never want that to happen.
Have you had students make some pretty macabre games before? Or
It's more when I taught high school. And so, because when I did animation, we would use the stick figure animator, which is really cool. And it's just a stick figure. And you wouldn't think that it can get really gross, but it always ends up one stick figure attacking another and then the one laying there in a pool of blood. I don't know why. Stick figures are really violent.
I need a therapist on hand in the back of the
Yeah.
room.
Oh, okay, he's
Oh,
got it, he's got it.
Let's see
Please
what we
tell us something
got.
a Metroid can begin. Oh,
It's pretty simple. You just gotta click on the dragonflies. There's click on like that half of it. You just hover over it. But you just click on them and you get a point. You gotta be kind of accurate. You gotta hit the middle of them for like the wings. And it's smaller, it's more challenging because it's hard to hit them. But they shrink and they go away whenever you click on them. There's no noise. They're repetitively clicking forward at a time and get a little in the lane.
how do you lose?
You know?
Just goes forever. Did you make the little bat?
No.
He's cute.
No, he's right on there. That's like the costume 1 and costume 3 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find anything in the dragonfly wise like for the sprite and I could like change or it looked like he actually did something.
I like it. Give him a hand. Yay. Okay, next we have Joshua Porter.
Hopefully the sound works.
So you should
Oh, yeah. This one is Josh. It's right behind you. Looks good. Give him a hand. Yay. Next we have Rose. What is it going to be? Please no. Last semester the.
Comparing all the others.
That's all right. What are you talking about? Last semester I had to go have surgery at the beginning of the semester, and so I missed the first week of school. And so my 120 class had a substitute. When I got here, I told them about their games, and all sorts of them were eating nasty raw hamburgers and bacon and things. So I appreciate you guys not having gross mammal food.
It's just a story. It's just a story thing.
No mammal food.
raw
I just
bacon.
made a story thing or whatever.
All right.
I really didn't know what I was going to
That's
do.
fine. We're not here to judge you. Well, I am, but that's okay.
Oh.
I think, oh, I have to look this up.
What is that over there?
I don't know. I don't know what I made.
You made us something.
Oh.
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 It's good.
In the.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, come on.
So I think it's.
Oh, he's trying to get his name.
I think it's his first day at OTC. Oh, it's the necklace.
That's still pretty good.
That's it.
I like it.
though.
It's a good, really great animation. All those things matter to us. Rebecca, are you ready?
Yes.
She's going to show us her awesome one.
There's always something we appreciate.
Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. Okay. No, it's my, I guess, breakfast game. Okay, everyone ready?
Yeah.
I just basically made a fun game except for pepper fish and bread.
It's so cute.
Look how happy he is to get bounced around.
I actually am moving the fans closer around. Yay, little bread.
I mean, French bread is pretty good though.
Yeah, that's why I picked French bread because it's hard no matter what you do to it. Yep. Technically, I guess that would be a sponge rather than sea. When I was a kid, I thought sea cucumbers were an actual vegetable, and I found one in a wade pool. It had gotten out of its initial exhibit, and I picked it up, and I was gonna shove it in my mouth, even though I didn't like cucumbers.
Yeah. Very cute. Give her a hand. It was awesome. I like it. I think it's a really good idea. Okay, next we have Jacob. Jakob.
Jakob. It's a llama.
Now, drama.
You're thinking llama.
So basically, you move, try to get the bread, stay away from the back.
Oh, it's a llama.
Floating llama.
Yes.
You should put a hat on it. You should have put a hat on it.
Basically, when it gets to score 10, it starts duplicating, but it duplicates infinitely instead of once at score 10, so you have to move quickly to get to score 11. Once I get to 20, I noticed, so I had it so it the clones duplicated at score 20. Well, if I had more than one, then it just, like I'll show off how it just continuously
Oh, wow. Ah!
So at 21,
That's cool. It's like mosquitoes this summer.
The clones actually lower your score. I don't know how to do that. Apparently.
Neat. Well, that gives you some things to work on. That's great. Ah, well, give him a hand. I love it. That was really cool. Okay, next we have Blake. He's on this.
Wow.
So mine was basically trying to keep the bone away from the dog.
Oh, that is pretty good.
And then if you get hit by the dog, your health goes down.
That's a crazy good. It just chases you all over.
And then once it hits 0, it's supposed to get 0.
The dog is killing you in the afterlife.
I don't have a win, so.
I like it. Give him a hand. Yay. Chase it around. Next we have Kent. And I like it when you guys have smaller ones because it kind of shows me that you really were looking at it on your own and trying to figure things out instead of just copying one of the tutorials. So that's beneficial.
All right, I had no clue what I was doing.
Welcome to programming.
Oh.
It's the ball bounces and you just try to miss it.
That looks like great value, Dora.
I don't know how to hide anything on top.
I thought it was great troubleshooting information to figure out what was going on in your game.
Where's the basket?
But yeah, that's it.
She's a good jumper. We'll all just sit here and stare at it for a while. Love it. Give him a hand. Yay. Next we have Jackie.
For me, mine, it's feeding a frog. You have to click on the little bugs to feed him.
Oh.
But it's kind of hard. We made it a little fast. We're experimenting with speed. We gotta get to 25. Here, I'll just go for the bug. Come here. But we.
You know, it'd be cool if there's a bonus level where the after you ate out the frog, the lily pad with the.
There is a bonus level.
Yay! It's
And
tacos.
it's a taco.
So are we feeding the taco or eating the taco?
We are eating the taco.
Oh, okay.
I would eat that taco if it didn't have lettuce. At least I assume
The
it's
frog does not mind, and then that's it. That's the game.
Very pretty. I like it. Yay!
Yay!
And next, Denise.
If you click that spot in the corner right there, it's like the audio. Wait, what? If you click that checkbox at the bottom, which is audio. Oh, sure.
What are we doing today after we're all done like presenting?
Flowcharts.
Huh?
Flowcharts.
Okay.
Oh, she's got it.
I don't know how to get it. Okay. There. Okay. So
She's
yeah, no. Right.
She's ripped.
Now, oh,
There it is.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
That's it. You just try
It's a good start. Yay. All right. And then we have Logan.
Oh, gosh. You don't want to just sit here and look at it all? Is it your turn?
Sophisticated one.
Yeah, that's all the shame.
Look at already the short page.
Okay, so I created an arrow shooting based game. I did take inspiration off someone else's game, but all the code I did do myself. So you have the main menu. It tells you how to play, shoot the targets. The farther your mouse is, the more power you have. And then you can mute the sound. I don't know if we have sound right now, but you just shoot the targets. You have wind at the top here. You have 5 arrows to shoot.
We got sound.
There is sound.
Kind of quiet.
There we go.
Oh, and I hit the mute sound by accident. When you shoot the mute sound, you don't waste an arrow either. And I just, we got it though. We didn't get it. Okay.
Oh man.
So
That wind is getting you.
yeah, the one is
isn't
getting me.
it?
I'm gonna quickly end this so you can see the other things.
Okay.
I know. So at the end, it shows you how many targets hit and what your score is. That is wrong. It should not be 255.
Good score.
You can turn on infinity mode, which means you just have infinite arrows. You can just go on forever. can't shoot this to save my life.
Because of your wind.
I got the 200 though. So
Woohoo!
and then end it, you just hit the space bar.
Or you shoot yourself.
Oh yeah, I should show that. You can shoot yourself too. It shows different. Oh,
Shoot yourself.
it does not like it when I shoot myself. It doesn't come back anymore.
Ouch.
But it shows you that, and you turn back off infinity mode. You want to and shoot away the barrel apparently. But yeah, that's it.
Great. And now you know someone who's used it before, but also put out huge effort. So great job. Thanks, you guys. I like seeing what your thoughts are. So it's nice and creative.
Do you have a scratch game?
I don't. I thought I can get like 3 things on there and go, no, I'm done. I have lots of Python stuff though to show you guys. But today, am I sharing? We need to look at flowcharts. So I'm going to bring up my OneNote notes for our class. While I do that, that makes me wonder about you. Have you ever used OneNote?
No.
Use
Have
it
OneNote?
all the time. I use it for
You
all
use
of
it
my
all the
notes. I use
time?
my laptop to take my notes.
So it kind of depends on what CIS101 class you had, if your instructor showed you OneNote or not. Some of them do, some of them make you use it all the time, some of them never show it to you at all. But let's take a second and look at OneNote. If you go to your start menu, you can find the desktop version. Do what?
Somebody's echoing back over here.
There was echo this morning too. I think there's something somewhere that was.
Sound is on.
Yeah, but it's more like it's up here.
Did you sign in using our?
Use your OTC account if it will let you.
It should allow you.
Now, does it gripe at you? There's a bug there, and it doesn't seem to work right. Did it let you? No. That's what it does to me. Okay. Since there's this bug and it won't let you log in.
Somebody said it allowed for you.
Did it allow you? It's weird, but let's all do it the same way. Open a web browser and go to office.com.
I got it.
Now I've seen some weird ways to trick it and stuff, but we can get kind of messed up if we try to do that. So let's just go ahead and sign in on this online office.com site. You're going to use your OTC account.
I got mine.
Did it let you go through?
Yeah, mine.
Yeah, did you get that? Yeah, but it doesn't let you save that. Don't, but come with me and do it this way, okay?
Come with me.
Come with me. You save it where you want it.
Okay, we're going to,
I
don't know.
So,
Did she say she
I don't think we should do it that way. You awesome.
Yeah.
You're good.
Sorry.
That's perfect.
Okay, I go to
That's where I want you.
Yes, there you
Log
go.
on to office.com, and we're just going to use this just to create our OneNote file, and then we'll use the desktop to access it, but we'll just get it created. No, just office.com, and then you're going to sign in using your OTC account. So this is the same as what you would do if you were coming here to get the free Office download.
It wants me to download it. Okay.
And then, and then there's the OneNote.
So you should be sitting here. So now you're going to click on OneNote.
Yay.
And I want to create a new one. So click the new button. And we want a blank notebook. So this is giving us a lot more control than if we try to use the desktop one. Now give your notebook a name. I'm going to put FA19 on mine because I already have a CIS120 notebook. And then I'm going to click create. Okay, did you get one created? All looks good. I think that it saved it into your notebooks folder on your OneDrive. Let's check and make sure. I'm going to close this tab, and I'm going to close this OneNote tab. And now I'm going to open OneNote on the desktop. Sorry, it's so kludgy just when you're creating them. Now that I've opened my desktop version, I already had a notebook open. So I'm going to click this down arrow and find my new notebook by clicking open other. Did it not save?
No.
Where would it go? It should be in your OneDrive under OneNote notebooks.
Oh, wait, maybe.
Found it.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Is it under OneNote notebooks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Under OneDrive.
Where was it? OneDrive?
Yeah, you go into open and then you click on the OneDrive.
Okay.
Here, you get email, and then you click on
Oh, there it is. It's under notebooks.
Notebooks?
Yep, that's what it was for me. OneDrive and then notebooks.
Great.
Wait. How'd you get to it?
Yep, there it is.
So click on your OneDrive over here and then notebooks, and then you should see that notebook you just created. Now, once you've got it open, when you open OneNote, it's just going to automatically open it. You just only have to do this when you're creating it. That's why it's kind of,
I don't know why, but the desktop won't let me log into the app.
it's a bug. It's an OTC bug. They've got it like blocked with their firewall, like halfway. And so it's just you just got to use the online portal to create it. And it's a problem at OTC with the OTC network. It's not a problem with OneDrive. It's just us. So now, do you have it open?
I don't have the same one open as everybody else does.
Your computer has like a newer version or something.
Does it?
Yeah, it doesn't have a file option at the top.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to open your notebook.
So are you on the desktop version? And it's different?
Yeah, you see, it look like you opened it the same way we opened ours.
Oh, yeah, on your laptop. I think you're
But I don't have a file. I don't have that file anywhere. Right there. That's how I got it open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to use?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think you do have a newer version, so that's okay. Yours will just look a little different, but you're okay. We won't use that file menu at all once you got it open. Where is it, what?
There it is. Yay.
So let's see. So if she doesn't do this up here, there. Click section and then add pages.
You guys have to do the mind tap cases for your.
Yeah. We don't have to.
We have to do ours.
Which class are you in? You're in 130, right? I wish you were in the same class.
Yeah, my teacher.
I with her instead of when I got to make I wish
It's pretty good for. They're really surprised. I don't think I'm like on mine.
20 credit hours.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
Got it. All right.
You make sure you have it.
So the way OneNote works, if you haven't used it before, have you ever seen South Park? Do you remember Cartman's Trapper Keeper? Yeah. The Keeper of the World? That's what OneNote is. OneNote is the ultimate Trapper Keeper, only it's all electronic. And so when you're looking at OneNote, you're going to have tabs across the top that are your Trapper Keeper tabs. So you can have tabs for different classes or different topics or
When I
different
was in
things.
math and I could do graphing paper and I could draw a graph by just doing that, I decided OneNote's what I'm using
From now on, that's what I want.
It is. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
So let's create some tabs. Right here, I got a plus sign. I will say, oh, let's see, I could do chapter 3 PowerPoint. How's that?
Should we name ours that?
Yeah, do that way for this one, and let me show you something. Now, I've got my OneNote here.
Chapter 3, you said?
Yeah, let's do chapter 3 PowerPoint. And I'm going to go to Canvas now and find our class. And I want to go to the modules, and I'm going to go find that chapter 3 PowerPoint. It wasn't the greatest one because it's one from the textbook, but that's all right. If I click on it, I can download it.
Chapter 3.
Yeah, the chapter 3, developing a program. Yeah. I want to download it. Now, my download is done. It's sitting over here in the corner. So I'm going to drag that PowerPoint and drop it onto my OneNote. If it were in some file folder somewhere, I could bring up that file explorer, and just drag and drop my PowerPoint. But since I just downloaded it, I can do it from the download. So I'm going to drag it and drop it on my OneNote. Now, if you drop it on their OneNote, that open page, it should say, how do you want to insert this PowerPoint? Do you want to attach it as a file, or do you want to insert it as a printout? Well, if I attach it as a file, I'll just have a little shortcut there that would take me to that PowerPoint. That's fine. But I want to do this insert printout option. Now, it went back to Canvas. And I'll let you watch it. It's going to take it a minute.
Let me do it. What me neither.
I'll show you. Look at it. Now, if you do that properly, you paste that PowerPoint as a printout. OneNote will create a page for every slide in the PowerPoint, and then you can go through and make notes beside the slide. So if we're talking about this particular slide, and there's some things, some thoughts you have, you can just make notes right here to the side. You can say, these are like functions. Now with OneNote, I can also use all the different menus. So I could draw. I have a lot of the same functionality that I do in Word and things like that. So I could draw or do all sorts of interesting things like that right on that presentation.
I got it. How do you open it?
It's doing it.
You want to insert it as a printout, not as a
Oh.
So do it again.
Do I have to delete it then, Johan?
So if you want to drag it, so over here, so you're right.
Yeah.
Over here, it's like, you want your tabs over your stuff, so you don't want to drag it, you want to drag it to your stuff.
Mine's flipped.
Exactly, yeah. So have to go to different pages.
Now it takes it a second, so you'll see it. It'll take it a little bit to do it.
How do you change pages?
And
mini PowerPoint. You guys could do that with any sort of presentation or anything, paste it in there.
How do you make it smaller so you can write notes next to it?
Just maximize OneNote.
Oh.
I'm not a PowerPoint OneNote mover. We can look at it later, but you can use the desktop computer if you want to be sure that it's going to be the same.
It's not going to be good if I want to use the desktop when I'm using it.
Right, so you get used to small differences like that. You might have to. All right, everybody's working okay? Do what?
Something right here, like if I had CIS going out of class, something.
Not that I've found.
I don't like to do that because I don't know this a lot.
So it's like you have a tab and then the pages, but
Yeah, because I haven't done this in my other, I haven't been new notebooks. I just got a lot on my
just
lap.
got everything in there in that
And I
one.
don't want to do this because of my history class. So you can do that.
So you could just have, do like different sections of tabs.
Well, we kind of do it.
That is work.
It's gonna be the same that way.
Yeah, so I downloaded it.
So if you go to
and then I
Office,
drag it and drop it
so
into
close
OneNote
this
to
one.
see if you guys are all set. Okay, good. Okay.
And then Office.
No, not
Getting there. Okay, so this is nothing that you'll be graded on or anything. It's just totally for you. Some of the students that I've seen over the years that have used OneNote a lot have really loved it because they're able to keep everything together. So last year this time, a couple of guys that had taken some summer classes, they were just talking about it and telling some other students. And they said, if we hadn't had OneNote, we wouldn't have made it because everything went so fast. And they were like, see, we copied the PowerPoints in, and then right beside it, they copied links to the YouTube videos the instructor had posted, so they could just click on the YouTube videos right from OneNote to bring up the videos. And they just brought all of the information together in OneNote to keep track of everything. Now, where I saw people doing this with the presentations is at a Microsoft conference that I went to last spring break in Vegas. And most of the people that were at the conference were from other countries. And so there were a lot of people from the Netherlands there, because Vegas is a cheap place to travel to from anywhere in the world. And so a lot of people come to the conference there. And I looked around and everybody's got their laptops open. And I was like, what are these people doing? And I saw everybody importing those PowerPoints from the presenters like that. I was like, how awesome. And so I started importing the PowerPoints from the presenters. And I created a page at the beginning to capture the presenters' information, who they were, where they were from, when the session was, what the session was about. And it was the first time ever, months after a conference like that, I was able to find all of my stuff and know what had happened. Okay, so that's great. That's PowerPoint. We can pull it in because it's all Microsoft.
This would be awesome for like coding and math, because a lot of the times for me, like an instructor was like, oh, don't forget this rule, and this rule, and this rule, and I could be able to type that on the
So-
side.
My math teacher across the hall trying to give us all the math people to do this.
I would
To
love
use
this
it,
for math because once I get home, I forget like a lot of the little tedious stuff.
So what if I was on the Zoom session and I showed you, let's see, a really important graphic. I'm going to go find one. It'll be a really important image.
That's really important.
Here it is. It's really important. And you're sitting there on your Zoom session. So what could you do to capture that graphic into your OneNote?
Print screen.
Print screen. What else?
What's that thing called where you click it?
That's the one. What is it?
I don't know. I just
The
learned about it
snipping
this year.
tool.
There
The
you go.
snipping tool. But what's really cool is with OneNote, it has a snipping tool built in. So I'm going to make a new tab. And I want this tab to be Chapter 3 Info. Because I've already got the PowerPoint. I kind of like to keep the PowerPoint off on its own tab because it's so many pages. Now I'm going to name this page. So at this page, I'm going to name it Really Important Graphic. And I want to insert that graphic that's on the Zoom session. It's displaying on my screen. So I can click on the insert menu and I can choose screen clipping.
Hold on, I'm falling a little bit.
You're fine.
What were we titling the page?
Really important graphic,
Oh, you
or RIP.
screen clipping. All right.
So you see the insert screen clipping?
Mhm.
Now if I click on that, OneNote's going to go away and I'm going to get that icon that allows me to select things. So I want to select this really important graphic here. Here it is. And it's going to pop that right into my OneNote.
A good thing to know is Zoom doesn't update when you're in this clipping mode.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
does it not show you? So you can look up
No,
here
we have to get out. Yeah,
to
we have
see what's
get
going
out.
on. Does it mess you up? So do try that. That insert screen clipping is really, really powerful. And when I'm broadcasting on the Zoom session, you guys can clip things off of there if you want to, because it's not, you know, it's just another screen, so you can grab whatever you want. So if there's some code or something that you feel like you want to get, you can just grab it. All right, what if I want more pages on this Chapter 3 info tab? I can click over here to add a page. So I want another page. We'll call this one Flowcharts. And that's what we're going to start talking about. So if I'm talking about flowcharts, there are some really important things that I need to be aware of. Before I leave my OneNote document to bring up the notes that I want to show you, be aware that the flowcharting symbols are things that are available. See if I can draw. In Word, these shapes are on the insert menu, but in OneNote, they're on the draw menu. But if I insert shapes, a lot of these basic shapes are flow charting shapes. So that's what we'll be seeing here as we start our flow charting. So they're easy for you to insert into your OneNote. Now, I'm not going to ever ask to see a OneNote notebook from you. I'm not ever going to ask you to show me your notes because, like, you're in college, right? So it's up to you to keep your notes and keep track of how you want to use things. I just want you to know that this awesome facility is available. And because you saved it to your OneDrive, you can open it from home and you can update it from home without any problem. Because you saved it to your OneDrive, you can download the OneNote app for your phone and you could actually update your OneNote notebook from your phone. Not very well.
OneNote's so much better with a pen too, so if you have like a tablet or something.
Oh, is it better than just
so
I've never
nice.
had a chance to use it?
Because you can write with it.
Yeah, you can write with it and you can like,
Yeah,
more
that makes
precisely like drop things and like make
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. So it is a really, really good tool. Can figure it out. And it's pretty simple because it is just a lot like all of the other Microsoft tools. Okay, so let me get mine open that I want to show you. Get this out of my way. Okay, so we're going to talk about flowcharts. Last time we talked about pseudocode, and do you remember, I think we had a few people that were out sick, so it's an important one to go watch the video for. You don't have to come with me, but I want to remind you that if you go to Canvas, you go to Canvas to our class, and you look at modules. Right here are the Zoom session playlists. It is an Office 365 document, so you do have to be logged on. But this will show you the link to our CIS120 playlist. So I try to record our sessions here that we do on Zoom and post them to YouTube to that playlist. Like our one from Tuesday, though, just finally got out there today. It can sometimes take me a while. Yeah, so the newest one should be Tuesday down at the bottom. But it was hard to get that one done Tuesday. I had to run.
The Frog Dev lecture.
Okay. So don't forget those are out there if you need them. So we were talking last time about pseudocode design tools. How do we design an application? We have way too much to do here to just jump in and start coding. We have a big mess if we just start coding without designing. So this is a flow chart. You guys have all seen them before, but now we're going to talk about the rules of a flow chart. This flow chart is just great. It starts out with a really important flow charting symbol, and that's the termination character. See where it says start and it has that oval? That's required. That's a required flow charting symbol for a real flow chart. You guys have seen lots of different ones that use those required symbols that don't. But I want a termination character oval at the beginning of the flow chart and at the end of the flow chart. Then anybody looking at it knows exactly where the flow chart starts and exactly where the flow chart ends. Now this flow chart does some processing, and processing is always shown in a rectangle box type thing. So our processing for this one says we're going to check the weather channel. It has a nice annotation, a nice comment over here. It says the weather channel is on cable channel 61. I don't think that applies to us, but it's a nice annotation. Now, after we check the weather channel, we're going to ask a question. And when we do a decision or ask a question, we always want it to be in a diamond symbol. And the diamond symbol gives us multiple exit paths. So whenever we have a decision, we're going to have a yes and a no, or a true and a false path. So in this decision, we're saying, is rain predicted? If it is, we get to stay home. And that's the end of our flow chart. Now, if we come through and we check the weather channel, we say, is rain predicted? And it's not, we could play golf, or we could do something fun. And then we're done. So this flow chart's pretty simple, but notice some things. It has a beginning and ending termination character. It has a yes and a no path out of its decision diamond. It uses the right diamond symbol for the decision. And this path here bypasses that play golf option. So those are some really common flow charting things that are important about this one. All right, so that's one. Here's another flow chart. Now, this one is missing the start and end. Sort of. They kind of used whatever symbols they wanted, didn't they? Now, they did use diamonds for decisions. They jump right in and they say, do you have any homework? If the answer is no, the process is pretty brutal and just says, you are lying. And takes them right back to the same path as they would have taken if they said yes. Then the flow chart checks a decision. Is it due in less than 12 hours? If it is, we better start working. If not, we can watch TV, play some games, check Facebook, and then come back and check to see if we're down to our 12 hours. You know how some people like to work under pressure, right? Now, if we're due in less than 12 hours, we're going to start working. If it's still not, we're going to do some more watching TV, playing games, and Facebook, and come back and check again. So this flow chart shows a loop, right? It shows repeating logic because we're going to repeat this stuff over and over until this condition is true, until it's finally down less than 12 hours. So this is like a looping structure in a flow chart. That's a good one. Looping. So our lines there in that flow chart are what's indicating that looping structure. Nothing else. We don't have any other weird things there going on. Okay, and then this flow chart. This is the kind that we don't like to see. If I can get to it.
What's it say?
It's something, all sorts of junk. Did you really even study? So they're not using the right diamond for the decision. So we only have one path to come out and it's not labeled. So really the question is kind of meaningless because we're going to do the same thing whether they say yes or no. And then is RST your major? And then we've just got lines going everywhere. So it's a very, very, very bad flow chart. And that's why we don't draw flow charts that way. That's why we use specific rules and standards for drawing our flow charts. This picture here.
You mentioned on the one I'm adding that to my OneNote.
This one right here is the one.
Could you zoom in on it real quick? I want to understand.
I'm about as zoomed in on it as I can get. Or it starts going off the screen. Uh-huh.
So is this like a schematic then, a flow chart?
No, because the schematic is more of a diagram that shows parts and their relationships.
So even like like an electric schematic. Like
Right,
if I
it
was-
shows, it is somewhat like a flow chart, but it is illustrating an electrical circuit.
Mhm.
So it's more a pathway than, but it is very similar. It's just gonna have a little bit of different symbols.
So
Yeah.
this one considered that one, not only to the line, but also the questions are.
Yeah, they didn't use the
Because
right
this kind of
symbols.
have it on here,
They
you
just-
have it off, and then you have
Right.
There's
Yes.
definitely decisions.
The squares should only
So,
be
like if you
do
open
this.
this bus and if you open this bus. I'm
Now,
thinking
this
more like
picture-
paragraphs.
I have this other picture that was like an old email that used to be passed around. This picture kind of shows you the importance of standards. So this flow chart made me think of this picture. Do you know what this is? Can you tell what this is?
Yeah,
Like
like,
a vine growing up a light electrical pole.
A electrical fire.
It's an electrical fire waiting to happen, but it isn't a vine. It looks like it is, but it's actually more wires. And so it's a whole big mess of wires that are coming together here on this pole.
Who will pay that?
Where is that place? Now this place is overseas. These pictures are India, and they always they used to be passed around and say, "This is where your tech support calls go." But this is because India as a country had no standards for electrical cabling. So people can come out from their apartment and hook up some electricity, not very safely. Definitely, I hear it's not something you want to do, but it happens. But so this is what standards do. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where we have to find a happy medium. We don't want to have so many standards and rules and things that we can never get anything accomplished, but we want more than this. So that's how our flow charts are. If we don't follow the standards and use the right symbols and make sure our lines are easy to follow, we can end up with a great big giant mess. And that's not what we want. So we'll try to always keep everything clearer than that. I like this one. So I have a friend who used to spend a lot of time in Africa, and he said that in the mornings, sometimes you would see people on the wires that had been unsuccessful in their attempts to hook up electricity. So yeah, he said it's a really big deal in other countries that we don't even think about it because we have so many standards in place here in the United States for cabling, which is really important. I'm really glad we do. Really glad we do. And we do for networking too. So yesterday or last time we talked a little bit about modular programming, and I just wanted to touch on that again before we go make some flow charts ourselves. My arrows are messed up here on this first one. But if we continue thinking about modular programming, remember that we're always going to have a main. So here in my program, I have a main function, main method, main routine, main module. And that main module is going to call a module that's going to give directions to my neighborhood. It can call another module to give directions to Joe's neighborhood, and another module to give directions to Ron's neighborhood. We could keep adding people in there forever, and we would never affect these old modules because we would just be adding new ones.
Does it matter what the shapes are?
We usually use those rectangles, yeah. But this one is not as
So
important.
a module programming, would that be like a family tree?
Almost, yeah. Okay, so let's make a flowchart. The first thing that I would like to use is going to be in our book. So I'm going to bring up the online version. If you guys want to find yours, if you have it in your backpack, grab it. If not, that's okay, because I'll show you on the big screen, but I think it's easier to follow along if you have yours. I'm gonna find it here. Now, what we want is this running with wrapper that says optional, and it says it's page 147. Let's see if it's lying. See it?
Yep. Okay.
So we could use lots of different tools to draw flowcharts. We'll look at Visio. You guys can get it for free from Microsoft. But today we're going to look at Raptor. And Raptor is this little teeny flowcharting utility that comes with our book. It's not fancy at all. But it lets us actually run the flowchart so we can execute it and see if our logic is right. So if I start with this running with Raptor section, it should tell us a little bit about Raptor to start with. This guy, Martin Carlisle, created this program. He just has partnered with some different intro to programming textbooks and offers his little tool. It's already installed on our computers, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you want to install it at home, he gives you some instructions, and there's instructions on Canvas too.
Which section is this?
3.6. So let's try to run it. On your start menu, let's search for Raptor. Now, one thing, when you guys have Windows 10, when you click on the start menu, you know you can just start typing, right? You don't have to click this little search icon and then start typing. Because I feel like I'm watching my grandma when I see you guys do stuff. Yes.
It's saying I can't do it. It's just a feature you're trying to use on a network resource that's unavailable.
Oh, let's see if it says that to everybody, and then we'll figure out how to get around it.
Get out of here. Well, you're lovely. You're that.
I don't know. Mine's doing something weird. Oh, it came up. Let's see what.
It says cannot be found. Verify that you have access to this location. Try again. And then I just keep getting up, so then I close out.
Yours came up, huh?
It won't let me do it.
Yeah, mine.
Do your duty.
I noticed you had XKCD flowchart, so I was just looking at because I have a issue from XKCD that actually a Raptor or something.
No Raptor. That's probably from this. We'll see. Let's see how we're doing. Yours work? You guys all work?
What are you trying? He's trying to make it work for me.
Try to make it work. Okay, close out of it. Let me show you what to do if you can't find it. So if you go to the tutoring center or you're in a computer lab and you're trying to do a Raptor flowchart and you can't find it, I've got kind of a back door. So open File Explorer. And in File Explorer, we want to go to the S drive, Stu Data. Now I know some of the classes use this S drive a lot and some don't. I don't use it very often, but I use it as a hidey place. So if you go to the S drive and scroll down and find CIS and CIS120, this very first folder, you don't have to remember what it's called, just that it's the very first folder, has Raptor, and it says Raptor Portable. So if you open that folder, you can run this raptorportable.exe. Now again, that's only something if you're in the computer lab or someplace where you can't find it.
It said Raptor Portable was not closed properly last time. It was run and will now clean up. Please then start Raptor Portable again manually.
Okay,
Man, I feel like I'm
just do that.
in the classroom here to data.
There you go.
Did you see there's a Raptor link from our class?
So if you look at week 3,
Okay.
and
So we
find
looked
it.
on our laptop.
Yep. And it's a real small program, so it shouldn't be hard to find or hard to
After
install.
flow charting software.
Okay, so I'm going to open this again. Right now, my little flowchart has a start and an end. You can see it on that kind of page sheet there. It's got its little start and its little end. Now, if I want to make this flowchart do more stuff, I can drag flowcharting symbols onto it. So let's do one. I'm looking down at what they have. All right, there's one. I scrolled down a little bit. I think I'm on page 152. They have a little example where we're going to create a variable named jelly beans. I'm going to use this assignment symbol for that. So I'm going to click on assignment and drag it and drop it in between the start and the end symbol. Now, when I do that, because it's an assignment statement, it's like it's going to assign a value to a variable. I double click on the symbol to tell it what to do. So where it says set, I'm going to put my variable name. I'm going to call this variable jelly beans. Make sure you use that assignment symbol.
Oh, Jackie. That's why I put a call symbol.
Yeah, it'll give you double click on that
Yep,
square.
got it.
Oh, and then set what now?
Jelly beans is what we're going to call our variable.
What if they made jelly bears?
That's fine.
That's okay.
You can name it whatever you want.
Two-layer.
Just make sure you name it the same thing when we use it again. Now let's set our jelly beans to 8.
The number 8.
Sure. And just like when we were working with our pseudocode, if we wanted to set jelly beans to some words, we would type those within double quotes. We will do that in a second. But I'm going to click done. And then I'm going to run this. How would I run it?
Go to run.
Yep. All those will work.
Hold on, it wants to save it. Execute to completion.
Yeah, and it's real bare about making you save. It didn't make me save, but it usually does.
It says run complete free symbols of life.
Okay, so when I ran it, let's check and see what we've got here.
It wanted me to save it first. What should we save the file?
This is just a text file. Whatever you want. Now,
I have words over here on the other side.
when you look at this screen, notice some things. This area that has this main tab, this is basically our main module that we're creating. Right now, our main module only has one line of code. It uses a variable named jelly beans, and it assigns it a value of 8. If you look over here, you can see your variables and what their values are. You see that area where you're seeing what's going on? And then find your master console. Your master console is where output will display. Okay, see some things? All right, now I want to add an assignment statement to change the value of jelly beans. Now it's going to make me save.
No, what did she do?
She added an assignment statement.
Mhm.
Oh,
So what you
and save it as
So yeah, I want to change the value of jelly beans. So I want jelly beans to now be whatever jelly beans was before times 2. So how would I do that? What variable do I want to set? Exactly. And what do I want to set it to? Exactly. No, I put a new box in. Because you can only do one thing in one box.
There we go.
Now, when we're looking at these boxes here, these dialog boxes, I can't make them any bigger, so the typing can be kind of hard to see. So zoom is really helpful. Now, when I click done, notice how it puts this kind of arrow thing in there. So you never are going to type that. That's just what Raptor does whenever it saves that set. Now let's run it.
Where do you click on it?
Now it says my end result, jelly beans, is 16. So it's doing some work and we can see what it's doing.
Does it consider the start and end symbols that are being evaluated?
As you run it, this scroll bar here is your speed. So move your speed way down to be really slow. And you'll be able to watch each symbol in your flowchart be executed. So here's my jelly beans to 8. I see it over on the side, and then it multiplied it by 2, and then I end. So this speed bar you can use to control Raptor's speed if you really want to see things more.
So the master console just basically tells you what it ran and how many symbols are right.
It will have output when we show output, but we haven't yet. So what if I make a typo? Let's go into our jelly beans times 2 and let's mess it up. What if I leave out the S? Now it's got a red around the symbol. It knows there's a problem. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But if I run it, it didn't give me an error. I just created a new variable, right?
Mine says jelly bean not found. When I did that.
No, it's because it depends on where you did it. If you change the answer, it's going to create a new variable.
No, I mean, I took the S out.
Yeah, that's what you said. So if you change the
So be careful. Now, if I go in and I change the jelly beans in the calculation to where Raptor can't figure out what to do because my variable name is now wrong in a calculation, we'll get a different kind of error. Because that time it really didn't give us an error. It just didn't work right. Now we see, I can't do this calculation. I don't know what this variable is. So Raptor's going to try to handle things for us, which can make it harder to find. But if we've got a big mess, we can take care of it. It'll show us. So does Raptor care about case? No, because we've got it all in lowercase, and this message has it all in uppercase. So we can tell right there it's irrelevant. It only cares about the letters matching, that the name is the same. Okay, so we can do all sorts of cool stuff. Let's try the input symbol. I'm going to fix this problem. I'm going to make it be jelly beans times 2 again. And then I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to create a new one. because I'm done with our jelly beans test. And I want a new empty one so that we can see where we are. Now, we didn't try any of our other flowcharting symbols. Let's try input. Now notice the input symbol when it's on the flowchart is going to be a parallelogram, and it's going to show that arrow pointing into the parallelogram. It's input. Now if I double click on that symbol to put the code in, at the top it has enter prompt here. Well, we know what a prompt is, right? That's what we're prompting the user. So let's try enter the original price, like for our sale price program that we were working on. And we saw from our pseudocode that whenever we're getting input from a user, we prompt them, then we read the input into a variable. And Raptor's going to let us do both of those things. So down here in this line, we want to put our variable name that we want to save that user's data in. So we'll call it user in. Now I'm going to run the flowchart. And you see your input prompt show up there. So we're going to type in a number. Press OK. Anytime we're using a string, any character data, we always have to have it in the double quotes.
Does it automatically assign it like an int or a float then, depending on what you input?
So we need to try one more. We need to look at the output symbol so that we can create our sale price program in a flowchart. So I'm going to drag this output symbol. Again, notice it's a parallelogram. It looks just like the input symbol. It can be very confusing, but the output symbol has the arrow pointing out. Okay, so on our output symbol, let's double click, and all we have is output. I'm going to do you entered, and then I'm going to use the plus sign to concatenate more data, and I'm going to put in my variable name, which I called user in.
Is it case sensitive?
Nope. Now the only thing that's case sensitive is within your double quotes. It's going to do exactly what you have.
What's the name of this file?
We hadn't named this one yet. Let's name it, what do you want to name it? Sample input. Now I can run it. It forced me to save it. So I'm going to run it. I should get prompt. What's the original price? 85. And then I should see my output. You entered 85. Now my output is showing over here on the master console. So you see it? It doesn't like pop up like that input did.
Okay. Can't get my can't get the output. No.
Is it hiding?
Well, I hadn't been there before that.
Is it making sense? Raptor is really nice because it's just for a little bit. We'll use it for this chapter and a little bit of our next chapter. But then when we start getting into a little bit more complicated things, it can get kind of unwieldy and out of hand. We'll just use it for a little while.
Well, you ignore what I'm doing.
Oh, sorry.
Just take this one.
He's tumbling out and the weed's doing his own thing.
You entered, so quotation.
Okay, that was good. Let's do our sale price program. See if we can get this thing.
So we got what it says.
Yep, I think we're good. Let's save it and close it.
Oh.
Actually, we just do new, huh? And that closes it and starts a new one. Now, this one we do want to save nicely. So let's save it right away. I'll save it to my 120 folder. And it's going to be Chapter 3, Sale Price Program, Raptor. Now, whenever you're uploading your Raptor files to Canvas, make sure you're using the .rap version with the one with the little dinosaur.
Oh.
Because Raptor is going to automatically save a backup every so often. And if you upload the backup to Canvas, I won't be able to open it.
Oh, yep, .rat. You said
.rat.
Yep.
.rat.
Phew.
So in our sale price program, if I bring up that pseudocode, we did that in Notepad++. So I'm going to bring up my pseudocode.
Wait, did we do the pseudocode on?
Last time,
Oh.
So you can just look at it here on my screen. You won't have it. See if I can find it here with this.
Popped up in mine. That was on Tuesday we did it, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm at the music purchase program.
That's all right. You can just look at this one. Now, our sale price program, the first thing we did was declare some variables. But before that even, we had comments. So let's put some comments on this flow chart.
How do I get a student file on my laptop?
What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean with student file.
My stuff saved to OneDrive.
Get the log out of your personal Microsoft account, log into your school.
Yeah, you'll have to download the OneDrive app on your computer. It's real easy. Just go to Microsoft and it'll say, "Do you want to download the OneDrive app?" And you say, "Yes."
Did you guys write this code on Tuesday?
Uh-huh. So you'll just have to follow along.
Okay.
Did we put it on Discord?
I don't know. I have this one open. I don't see it.
Okay, on our CIS120 Discord server, Logan's been getting it all organized and it looks awesome. And so, Logan, where do you want me to put this pseudocode if I'm gonna upload it to Discord for everybody?
Oh, I see. In the notes channel that I just created.
Oh, good.
Notes?
It's class related. There you go.
Okay, under class related, this notes channel, I'm gonna drag that pseudocode that we did last time there so that you guys can get it if you weren't here.
You're an angel.
We shall see if I can maybe do it,
Well, you're a maybe.
if I can find it.
Blank.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you haven't joined this server, we posted the link to the announcements the other day, and Logan's got it all organized. It's really organized well. I told him if he keeps going, we won't even need Canvas. We'll just put everything in our Discord server. It looks so good. Okay, so let's do this. The first thing I'm going to do is create all these variables. So for all of these variables, I'm going to use the assignment statement. So the first one we had was item name. in our pseudocode, we said item name is a string. I don't know. In Raptor, we don't really have that option. So to tell Raptor that it's a string, we're going to put a double quote, a space, and a double quote. And then it's going to be like, oh, this is going to be a string variable. So that sets up our item name variable. Double quote, space, double quote. And you could not put a space between there, but all right. Then our next variable is going to be original price. So another assignment statement. Put original price is your variable name. Now, when you're creating these Raptor variables, we're going to be using those variable naming rules that we saw at the very beginning of chapter 1. No spaces, no starting with numbers, limited special characters. Notice I did camel case here where I'm starting the word with an uppercase letter. Our original price is a number, and we decided it should be a float. So I'm going to do 0.0. I'm going to tell Raptor we want it to have a decimal place, but its value right now is 0. Now the next variable we need is our discount rate. I'm going to use another assignment statement. Discount rate. And I want to set it to 0 when I get a chance. So it won't be immediately. So that's why I would really encourage you to use the computer here. Yeah. And then get stuff installed at home. It's all fun.
Yeah. I have no idea. I know I'm behind on that.
Okay, so I've got 3 variables declared so far, but I got distracted. And when we first started this flowchart, I said, what I want is comments, but I didn't do it, right? Because I got distracted. So where could I add comments? Do you guys see that anywhere? What would I add? Oh, there's one under edit. It says comment. I'm going to click on my start icon and do edit comment. Now I can put all of the comments that I want here. We'll say this is sale price program, Raptor, flowchart. I'm just going to put the same stuff that we put in our pseudocode. Accept the original price and calculate the sale price.
You want to put our own names?
Yeah, put your own name. And then I'm going to click done.
Do we have to have this?
What?
Because I cannot read what to put on it. I can't see the writing too small. So I can't. We need to have the.
You can copy off my screen.
I can't see the
So can you zoom in?
I tried. He tried.
And I think she's on the Zoom session. I don't know if you can see it on Zoom.
Yeah. I can't read for the Zoom session.
Yeah, it's hard to read it for sure.
It's either I can either pull it to Zoom or I can throw it to Teams, but I can't. There we go. Okay.
Did you get it? Oh, you guys are so good.
Okay. Sorry, but it was like so
Tiny, tiny. Okay, we got our 3 variables declared that we said were going to be stuff that we would ask for as input. And then we had our other variables that were going to be our output processing variables. So we need 4 more. Do you want to just drag 4 of those assignment boxes out there onto your flow chart? We can do it either way. I'll go ahead and put the empty ones. Some people like counting them and putting empty symbols out there. I'm one of those people that would rather just add them as I go, but it's definitely valid to do the counting thing. Okay, so the first one is going to be amount saved. And we said it was a float, so we're going to set it to 0.0. The next one was sale price. And again, we said it's a float, so we're going to start with it at 0.0. The next one we had was tax. And it also is a float, so 0.0. And finally, total price. That should be all of our variables. Now, Raptor doesn't, like they were finding out up here in the front, Raptor's not very good at doing like a scroll zoom. You have to use this setting up here, the zoom setting, kind of old school. So I have mine 125%. Guys, I can go up higher, so yell at me if you can't see. But remember, this does not affect those dialog boxes. They're going to be teeny as I type in them no matter what. Okay, so we've got all our variables declared. Our main module, if we look at our pseudocode, only had these 3 lines. It said it was going to call the input module, the calculations module, and then the output module. Well, let's create those calls on our flowchart. Right up here is the call symbol. Now watch me before you try this yourself, so you'll see what Raptor does. I'm going to grab this call symbol. When I drop it on the flowchart, it doesn't really do anything. But when I double click on it, it says, what's the name of the module you want to call? Ours was input data. And then when I click done, Raptor's going to say, do you want to create a tab for this module? And I'm going to say yes. And now up here at the top, I have my main module tab and my new input data tab. So we should be able to run this. I'm going to make sure I don't have any errors. I'm going to try and run it. I'm going to watch Raptor. It's going to set up all those variables. Go to my input data module and come right back because I don't have anything going on in that module yet. And then it'll finish. Now, before you go, I'd like to make sure that you've got this much without any errors so that we can finish it up next time. Because you guys are going to do then a couple of projects next time with a partner. They'll give you in the book the requirements. And you're going to start with the pseudocode, and then you're going to create the Raptor flow code to go with it. So they'll be a lot like this one. So we're going to finish this one first, and then we'll split and have mostly lab time next time for you guys to work on that. So we'll finish this one first. All right. Everybody's working? If you're having trouble, let me take a look at it so we can get you fixed before we go. But if you're working, get out of here and have a great weekend and stay healthy and all that good stuff.
How do you edit a comment? For some reason, I
Oh,
kept I kept everything we did on this, but I copied it onto my laptop just so I could kind of hang around with it at the house. I don't know what happened here. You should be. That's what
Right. You just don't waste a whole bunch of
Right.
your
Go give
time.
myself gray hair.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. In here. So you caught the bus at 2, something, and your next class is at 4. Depending on what you leave, you guys have 30 minutes or an hour. There. Annoying as heck. Frustrating.
Okay, so you don't want to use this. And you open it up. And now you should have the exact. So what I can do now is
I guess I'll stop the Zoom thing.
Okay, so now.
Thank you guys so much.